Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more Fabled Lands. We find ourselves in Yaramura, which is a young city. Its buildings are finely constructed houses of wood and stone with pagoda-style roofs. The clan of the White Spear, exiles from the east, rule the city. 100 years ago, civil war raged in Akatsurai. The clan was forced to flee in its ships to the west. Unable to find refuge in Sakara, the clan founded Yaramura, the clan's fiercely loyal samurai warriors easily suppressing the local nomad tribes. The current daimyo, the chief of the clan, is Lord Kumonosu. He dreams of the day he will return to Akatsurai as shogun of the empire. To leave Yaramura by sea or to buy and sell ships, visit the harbour master at the sea barrier. To buy or sell cargo, visit the silk market. We will do neither of those things. We will depart from the city and head to the area surrounding this nomadic camp out on the steppes. You have entered a cold, barren land of howling winds and pitiless rains. Here we shall attempt to roll the low event. And with luck, we have achieved just that. A gruesome punishment. You pass close by a windswept place where a grisly scene is being enacted. A band of nomad warriors have tethered a captive to a rock and are watching as he slowly dies of exposure. The nomad's attention is fixed solely on their victim, so you have the opportunity to slip away unnoticed. We could do just that. We could loudly announce our presence and confront them, or sneak a little closer. Let's do that. Now, this is a one-time chance. If we fluff this, it never happens again. The sun flares cold and crimson behind a bank of cloud. The gloom helps your task as you slowly work your way closer across the bone-cold ground. Now you can hear the captive's whimpering cries as the crows peck at his limbs. We will make a thievery roll. However, we will drink a potion of stealth to improve our chances drastically. We also have a thievery blessing to re-roll this should we need to. The gods are with us. Sig has blessed us with his art of guile and trickery. Darkness falls, and the nomad warriors make their camp. Crouching around their cookpot, they throw only occasional curious glances towards their sobbing captive. We shall free him. He gives a faint moan of relief as you loosen the tight bonds. You see at once that he is close to death, but his eyelids flutter open and he manages a weak smile. "At least I die comfortable," he says in a Sakaran accent. "Those devils think that a man who dies in pain will suffer agony for eternity. Thanks to you, they didn't get their way." He is fading fast. "Don't speak," you tell him. "Why not?" he chuckles. "I won't get much chance later. Listen, you've done me a kindness, and I'll do you one in return. Go to the northern mountains, find a bronze gate. Bow to it 3 times with your hand on your heart." "What then?" you ask, but he is gone. You camp for the night. The fur of your wolf pelt helps to keep you warm. You also need to hunt for food. You find some voles to eat. And now, we shall head to the northern mountains, as the man instructed us. Ice and snow cover the northern steppes, which stretch away to the south and west as far as the eye can see. To the north, the snow-covered peaks mark the edge of the known world. You can see a sheer cliff face with something indistinct at its base. Let us investigate the cliff more closely. You arrive at a high bronze double door set in sheer cliffs. You recall a story about a bronze gate. We only recall this because we had our one chance to rescue the prisoner. If we had not done so, this option would never be available to us. You recall a man tortured by the nomads who told you with his dying breath of these great metal doors. What was the ritual he described? Oh yes, you place your hand on your heart and bow 3 times. You wait. There is no sound but the sigh of the wind across the plains. You are about to turn away when the doors slowly swing inwards. Well, we could walk off, try and climb the cliffs, or enter these open gates. You make your way down a long tunnel to a hall which is lit by 1,000 white candles and lined with tables. Here you are greeted by men and women who are clad in shrouds that they wear like togas. Their faces are pale as marble, their eyes like dull grey jewels. There is a presence in the deep darkness at the distant end of the hall. "Who goes there?" booms a voice that fills you with awe. Now, both these options are available. You have the title Chosen One of Nagil. You're an Initiative Nagil. We have to be an Initiative Nagil to gain the title Chosen One of Nagil. We may have lost our faith and ceased to worship Nagil, but we have to choose this one. You are the Chosen One of Nagil. You are brought into the presence of the god himself. He wears the war gear of a mighty overlord, his face hidden in the gloom of a great iron visor. "You have striven long and hard in my service," he says. "Now is the time for your reward." A seneschal, bony and lavender of skin, comes forward bearing a magnificent sword of white metal. This is bestowed upon you amid much ceremony. The assembled dead give a cheer, though it sounds like the deathly groan of a multitude as you buckle the sword to your belt. And take this sword we absolutely shall. This is the white sword. We'll look at that in a moment. You can never lose this sword. It cannot be stolen from you or lost. Even if you die and are resurrected elsewhere, the sword will still be with you. That alone makes it probably the most important item in the game. Now, the white sword is a slashing sword. The be-all and end-all, mostly the end-all. It grants a +8 bonus to the combat skill. So now, our combat skill of 5 will go up to like a what? 13? 13, look at that now. And our offense has risen dramatically as well. The damage is 6 to 11. Truly impressive for a one-handed weapon. The action point cost is 4 and the rarity is mythical. Having now proved our devotion to Nagil so thoroughly and being rewarded so absolutely, we should probably never abandon his worship ever again. even though I'm not sure there's any further bonuses to continuing. Why would we ever turn away? We are also an initiate of Nagil. Still, we need this. You are invited to sit at the table and share the food and drink of the dead. It has no taste, or, if any taste at all, it is just the taste of the air in long sealed tombs. Nonetheless, it gives you sustenance. If you are injured, restore your stamina to its normal unwounded score. A handsome cadaver beside you leans over to touch your arm. "It is time you were leaving," he says in a whisper like dry leaves. "If you linger too long among us, you will join our company forever." You rise and bow to them, giving just a quick, respectful glance to the Olympian figure on the throne at the end of the hall. "My divine lord, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your hospitality." "Return to the living world now," resounds the voice of Nagil. "If you come back to this hall, it must be to stay." You bow and hurry back to the surface. The bronze doors close behind you without a sound. Now, I don't know if this section here, below the healing, would come after, if we'd have the option to receive the sword and then get this departure, or not. Ice and snow cover the northern steppes, which stretch away to the south and west as far as the eye can see. To the north, the snow-covered peaks mark the edge of the known world. You can see a sheer cliff face with something indistinct at its base. At some point in the future, we may wish to climb that cliff. For now, we should probably not do so. We must never go through those doors again. Let us return to Yaromura, where our vessel awaits. Let's go to market and sell the enchanted sword. I'm sure there will be a happy buyer, all too eager to enjoy its sharpened edges. Now, what do we... Oh. So, we have a quest here to try to visit Beladai at his army camp and then try and take the fortress at the border. Velis Corin. That's going to need combat and thievery. Is there a god, a temple here? Nayo Amanushi. Okay, we still have our thievery blessing, but it would be nice to go get another potion. Yeah. Doing that quest, however, will take us up to rank 6. And the only other rank I know of that we can achieve is fighting the dragon down in Golnir for rank 7. There must be others. There is one more that can be, if you're a warrior fighting pirates in the ocean around Golnir and defeat a pirate captain with an extremely good dice roll that I believe is only possible for a warrior. Although actually with 13, because you're rolling 3 dice, I can't remember if you're adding your combat stat or not. I don't think you are. It's like roll 2 dice, 3 dice if you're a warrior, add your ship quality level and your other thing. Right, but we do have something else. We have the password for the tomb in the forest of Larun. So let's go down to the harbour master and fill our ship with furs. Then set sail. You are sailing in the coastal waters around the city of Yaromura. To the east, the sea stretches away to the horizon. We're sailing safely so far. You are sailing into Disaster Bay. Heavy rains begin to fall and the skies darken, severely reducing visibility. "These are dangerous waters, Captain," says a first mate. "Some people say the reefs and rocks of the bay shift and change, making any chart unreliable." A darkening of the heavens heralds the gathering of the storm, and in these waters that is not good news. Rain is swept in sheets over your ship, and the waves rise and fall inexorably, lifting you up and then dashing you down. Strangely, the fog that surrounds the Isle of Mystery is not dispelled by the high winds. If you have the blessing of Alvir and Valmir, which confers safety from storms, you can ignore the storm. With the quality of our ship and crew, we can weather almost any storm anyway, unless there's something special we don't know about. However, we do have a safety from storms blessing, and given the danger for rocks and stuff, it seems only fitting that we invoke the favour of the gods. You examine your charts. The crew are relying on you to navigate the ship safely through Disaster Bay. You have successfully navigated the dangerous waters of Disaster Bay. Up ahead, a lookout spots an island. "That be Basilic Isle," says your mate. "No one who has landed there has ever got back alive. I'd advise against it unless you have a map or something, Captain." We don't have a map of Basilic Isle. You're sailing around the tip of Narech. Out to sea, a great cloud of rolling fog tinged with an eerie greenish glow surrounds a mountain that climbs out of the mist. And we're now in a condition to consider visiting Narech. "That's the Isle of Mystery," says a first mate. He spits and makes a sign against evil. The men mutter among themselves. They are afraid of the misty isle. But we sail on uneventfully. You're sailing along the northern shores of Narech, the land of the man-beasts. The coastline is one long stretch of cliff. The waters are shallow and rocky, making it impossible to land here. Misshapen figures cavort and yell on the cliff tops, shaking their fists in impotent rage at your ship and crew. Let them shake. We might even shake a few fists back and mock them as we sail by. A merchant ship is heading towards you. The merchant ship is a large galleon called the Sea Centaur. Your first mate says, "That's the ship of Avar Hordef. He's from Matricians originally, but he has a villa in Yaromura. He's one of the richest merchants around. His treasure room is said to be awash with gold and jewels. And some say he didn't get it all honestly, if you catch my drift, Captain." I believe in Yaromura we can be hired by the Thieves Guild to rob Avar Hordef's villa. I also believe, while we do have a respectable thievery score, we really shouldn't be doing that anytime soon. A great white bell of canvas stretches overhead, gathering in the wind as a fisherman's net catches a shoal. "We're making good progress," observes the helmsman. "Let's hope this breeze doesn't freshen it to a gale, though." At this point, with the exception of our quest involving the fortress of Veles Corrin, we have little reason to return to the northern steppes. Don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of things we can do up there, but a great many of them are things that Devika is not currently particularly suited to. You're sailing along the coast off Blessed Springs. Gulls cluster around the ship looking for food. Their cries echo across the vast seas. We sail on southwards. You're sailing in the waters around Scorpion Bight. "I wouldn't want to put into land in these parts," says your navigator. "The Scorpion men'll take all we got and our life too, if given half a chance." Well, let's not stop here then. Indeed, we'll sail on westwards. Vivian is not there. Your ship is sailing in the coastal waters beside Yellowport. There are a number of other ships, mostly merchantmen, but there are also a few ships of the Sakaran Imperial Navy. "At least we won't be plagued by pirates with the navy around," says the first mate. Indeed, but we are plagued by the Sakaran War Galley. A Sakaran War Galley hails you and draws up alongside. "We're coming aboard for an inspection," yells the captain of the galley. His men attempt to grapple your ship. Well, if we resist, they'll only damage the gunnels as we try and pull away. We don't need to repair stuff. We got nothing to hide. A swaggering Sakaran captain marches on board with a complement of marines. "I don't think you've paid your harbour duties," he says. "Harbour duties? We're in the middle of the sea!" you exclaim angrily. The captain smiles smugly at you. "You'd better cough up 50 shards or I'll impound your ship and its cargo." "But that's no better than common piracy," says the first mate, outraged. "The duty will be 60 shards now for calling a captain of the Sakaran Imperial Navy a pirate," he sneers. Several of his men burst into laughter. "Well, we'll pay them for now." The captain gives you a satisfied smile. "Harbour duty is all paid up. You may proceed," he says mockingly. He and his men leave the ship. Several of your crew curse or spit in disgust. You sail on. Your ship is sailing in the coastal waters beside Yellowport, where we will... I think we might have to go to Marlock, actually, but Yellowport has sulphur at really good rates. Yellowport is the second largest city in Sakara. It is mainly a trading town and is known for its exotic goods from distant Angkon Konu way to the south. The new Provost Marshal of Yellowport is Royzer. He used to be Marlock Marlowe's second-in-command. Since the assassination of the old Provost, Royzer has ruled the city with an iron hand. Patrols are frequent and spies are everywhere. You will have to be careful not to get yourself recognized. We should probably not go to visit the Provost Marshal. He literally let us in to assassinate his forebear. If we meet him, he's likely to recognize us. And Devika does have that silvery white skull emblem on her forehead that she can't get rid of. At least she's got a nice long fringe to try and hide it. Maybe she should grow it a little bit longer. And wear a hood. A big hood. And pull it down over her face. And only go out at night. And not... oh, we have a resurrection deal. That's good. Okay, let's... oh, but we would lose all these things if we died. Let's try not to do that. The Stinking River brings rich deposits of sulphur from the Lake of the Sea Dragon down to the town, where it is extracted and stored in the large waterfront warehouses run by the Merchants Guild. From here, the mineral is exported all over Harkuna. Unfortunately, all that sulfur has its drawbacks. The stink is abominable and much of the city has a yellowish hue. The river is so full of sulfur that it is virtually useless as a source of food or of drinking water. However, the demand for sulfur, especially from the sorcerers' guilds, is great. Politically, much has changed in the past few years. The old and corrupt king of Sakara, Corrin VII, has been deposed and executed in a military coup. General Grieve Marlock and the army now control Sakara. The old Council of Yellowport has been indefinitely dissolved, and a Provost Marshal, Marlos Marlock, the general's brother, appointed as military governor of the town. That's not true, he's dead. That is a slight issue. We have our correction up here, but down here, still an issue. Okay. I think I will be reporting that. To leave Yellowport by sea, buy or sell ships and cargo, go to the Harbour Master. Well, to the Harbour Master we shall go, and sell our furs for, what, 60 or 70 shards markup? Not bad trading. Next, we'll go to Marketplace. For at this location, we can purchase... We have the treasure map already. Scroll of Archery, Weapon Mastery, Combat Dodge. We have Combat Dodge. You know what? I will grab that Scroll of Weapon Mastery for now. I mean, it'll just give us 2 extra offense with the White Sword, which we don't really need. No, hold on to the money then. Okay, fine. We'll take the road up to Trefoil, that oh so familiar road. The main road between Marlock City, Trefoil and Karan Baru is well maintained with regular guard posts. The Sakarans are nothing if not efficient. We have a bad omen and lose our immunity to disease and poison blessing. Oh no! You continue onwards. The city of Trefoil is a terrifying vision of apocalyptic destruction. It had once been a thriving crossroads town, but now it is a burnt-out hulk. It was almost razed to the ground when it declared for the late king during the recent civil war and tried to hold out against the army of Grieve Marlock, the current Protector General of Sakara. It was then sacked by the general's mercenaries, and General Marlock is now trying to rebuild it. Craftsmen are hard at work everywhere. Well, onwards we shall go. To the roadside tavern, no less. You join the much-travelled road that connects Trefoil and Karan Baru. The traffic mostly consists of convoys of troops and supplies. Eventually you come to the Weary Pilgrim Tavern, a way station between the cities. The tavern costs you 1 shard a day. Each day you spend here, you recover 1 stamina point if injured, up to the limit of your normal unwounded stamina score. No, we're good. But we shall enter the Forest of Larun. Look at that big yellow highlight all over the entire place. Right up to the river down there in the bottom left. The Forest of Larun is a mighty swathe of densely packed trees, a slice of primordial nature in the middle of the busy, industrious Sakara. You thread your way through the ranks of trees. In places, the forest canopy almost blocks out the sunlight completely, and you are wandering in deep shadow, haunted by the cries of the creatures of the forest. Let's venture deeper into the forest. You hack your way through the undergrowth until you stumble across an old ruin. Creepers and forest moss have grown over most of it, but you can see mask-like faces set into the walls, glaring down at you as if in angry outrage at your intrusion. You come across a massive stone slab, clearly a door. Set into the middle of it is a round granite face, the visage of a sleeping demon. Suddenly an eye pops open and regards you curiously.
"By the tentacles of Tantalon," exclaims the face in a gravelly voice. "A human? I haven't seen one of your lot for 100 years.
An expression of suspicion forms on its rocky features.
What do you want, anyway?
Oh, just passing through, you comment airily.
Well, you can't pass through me unless you know the password. And that was given to me by Astralis the Wizard King, let me see now, 1,000 years ago by Ebron. This is his tomb, you know.
Ah, I know what the password is. It is rebirth. You learned the password rebirth in the White Warlock Tavern, and now I shall need it no more. Which gives me a little bit more space in this limited note file. Here we go.
My, aren't we the wise one? Carps the door sarcastically. Still, a job's a job, eh?
It mutters. The door lifts straight up and you step into the shadows of the tomb of the Wizard King. It is lit by still burning torches that give off an eerie eldritch glow. In the middle of the large round chamber, a sarcophagus lies surrounded by a pentacle drawn in blood. You notice the blood still seems fresh. You realize from your magical studies that there is a safe path through the pentacle. If you step off the correct symbols drawn on the ground, there is no telling what sort of trap you will set off. Well, the whole thing does look pretty dangerous, but we'll try the path to the sarcophagus. You decide to try the path to the sarcophagus. You thread your way carefully through the maze of magical symbols until you reach the sarcophagus safely. Inside you find the mouldering bones of a long-dead wizard, in whose skeletal hands you find the Book of Excellence. As you scan the pages, you learn all sorts of new tricks. Add one to the ability of your choice permanently. Now, our charisma is at a 5. Our combat is at a 5. Magic at a, I want to say 7? Yep. Sanctity at an 8. Scouting at a 8. And Thievery at a 6. Now, this is a wizard's tomb, a tomb of Astralis, the Wizard King. Improving our magic score would make a lot of sense here. However, Devika is a priestess and devout worshipper of Nagil, and she hasn't found a sanctity boosting item yet, so we will improve sanctity. Once you have read it, the book disappears in a flash. You thread your way out of the tomb of the Wizard King back into the forest of Larun. And with that, we shall depart from the forest and head out onto the main road, which is nearly blocked by wagons and supply convoys. A troop of soldiers forces its way through the throng. The men bang heads indiscriminately to clear people out of the way. We are banged on the head. We'll go down to the roadside tavern. You join the much-travelled road that connects Trefoil and Karanbaru. We know where we are. We'll stay the night and let our poor head feel better. Then we'll head back down to Yellowport. And nothing particularly we want in the marketplace here. I believe in Marlock City we can get priestly things. Would be nice to get... No, let's just go to the harbour, load up our ship with minerals, and sail around to Wishport, because there's things we can do in Golnir still. Sailing on the coastal waters, the navy's around, but they don't bother us this time. Your ship is sailing in the coastal waters off the Shadar Tor. You can just see the Tor, a jumbled mass of rocks sitting on the cliff tops as it has done for 1,000 years. Again, safe journey. How many times do I have to click? Your ship is sailing in the coastal waters near Marlock City. Again, we travel safely. You notice an unusual number of Sakaran warships patrolling the area.
The pirates are getting bolder and bolder. That's why the navy's out in force,
says the first mate. Well, westwards we shall sail once again. A shard for your thoughts, you say to the first mate when you find him gazing dourly out across the waves.
Far to the south, men say there's a pit that goes right through the world. In its black depths you can see the stars.
You laugh to make light of his mood. Well, what of it? Why so glum?
Don't you know the old saying? Battle not with monsters lest ye become a monster. And if you gaze into the abyss also gazes into you.
He turns away from the rail.
What course, Captain?
What course indeed. Your ship is sailing in coastal waters close to Wishport, where we can sell our minerals for an extremely good amount. Thick black clouds pile up along the horizon. If you have the blessing of Alvir and Valmir, which confers safety from storms, you can ignore the storm. The storm hits with its full fury. The odds of survival depend on your ship and crew. We're rolling 3 dice plus 4, trying to get a 7 or more. It's automatic at this rate. I don't know why we still have to roll. Let's go to Wishport and sell our stuff. Wishport is a picturesque town set at the back of a bay rimmed with white cliffs. Fish, oil, dyes and other commodities are packed here for transport inland. The market is located in the warren of alleys adjacent to the waterfront. Each alley is dedicated to a different commodity. In one you can buy rope, in another lanterns, and so on. You hear the echo of hammer and anvil from the weapons forge just ahead. From the weaponsmith's forge, rather. Let us sell our minerals at, to be fair, an extortionate markup. Then consider our other options. The market here, yellow dye. Why would we ever need that? I'm sure there's a reason. Parchment compass. We could get a cheap-ass holy symbol. I'm sure we can get one better to the west in Otaku. And we can find ourselves reason for wanting to go there. Let's sail to Ringhorn, I want to say. Your ship is sailing in coastal waters close to Wishport. Safe journey. Fair enough. Seeing the fearful looks of the crew, you ask the first mate what the matter is.
These are haunted waters, Captain, is all he will tell you.
And we avoid the haunting for now. We'll sail on past Matricians. Your ship is hugging Golnir's southern coast, as is the plan. Now the important question is, can we sail up the river? I don't believe we're allowed to. Sailing in coastal waters is safer, but slower than out on the open ocean. We have an uneventful voyage and can go into Ringhorn. Looks like we'll have to leave our ship here. Ringhorn receives goods from all along the Reese River, travelling along the coast from Otaku to Yellowport and south to distant Angkong Kamu. It is a very large, bustling city. You can buy a house here for 150 shards, which almost seems reasonable given the large amounts of funds at our disposal. Ringhorn Market consists of hundreds of stalls crowded into a cobbled square under the walls of the Sheriff's Citadel. Checking the price on grain. Okay, that's reasonable. For now, though, we have other business to attend to. Checking the market. Nothing too fancy. Wait, Hot Pursuit is 2 action points if you use Animal Companion, Stunning Blow, Lightning Strike, or Cleansing Flame. Cleansing Flame is 4 action points, so we'd only get 4 more. So we could attack with a sword, or curse. Couldn't raise the Fallen. Maybe worth it. Crippling Strike teaches you advanced techniques for to debilitate an opponent. Damage inflicted by targets affected by daze, frostbite, poison, or curse will be reduced by 2 to a minimum of 1. Oh, having that. There we go. Crippling Strike is now equipped. Anyone we curse is generally hit by Cleansing Flame shortly afterwards. There will be a few times, though, when we fight incredibly powerful foes that can survive that. So, we'll take the river road up towards Castle Ravain. You're on the road that follows the banks of the Reese River between Castle Ravain and the port city of Ringhorn. An uneventful journey indeed. The black turrets of Castle Ravain rise above the treetops. From the topmost tower flutters the black lion banner of the Ravain clan. This is the stronghold of Varna, Baroness of Ravain, and it we shall enter. You near the heavy drawbridge. Your reputation precedes you, and you're admitted to the castle without delay. Peasants' carts are pushed aside by the sentries so that you can sweep majestically past. Castle Ravain is virtually a city in its own right. The outer courtyard is filled with stables, grain stores, pens for livestock, carpentry yards, and a smithy. Nearby, some knights are keeping fighting fit by charging with lances at a straw-filled dummy. Beyond, another line of defences encloses the inner keep. The armoury in Castle Ravain resounds with the clamour of hammers on anvils. The artisans here provide arms and armour for the greatest knights of Golnir. You can buy top-quality equipment or sell anything you don't need. We could buy some nice armour. We could also buy base combat skill of 6 required for, or 7 even, for all the warrior skills. Our base combat skill is 5. So, magic, scouting. So, magic and scouting are the 2 ability scores which are high enough for us to learn skills from another class. So we could pick up wizard skills, I believe. Oh, wait, no, they're not. The wizard skills used to be in Yellowport in early access. Now I think they're up on the Isle of Mystery. For scouting stuff, we'd have to go across to the Isle of the Druids and visit their conclave there. If we go into the inner keep and visit the Baroness, she will have some quests for us. One requires going to Utaku and becoming a worshipper of their faith. There might be a workaround that just takes more time, but I can't remember this late at night. I'm recording a couple of hours later than usual. One involves sailing across to Akatsurai. And that may be worth the attempt. There's one to look for a dragon, which is around here by the mountains, and very dangerous, because the dragon is an incredibly powerful opponent, but it would gain us a rank. And push us up to 6th. We should probably try the Fortress of Veles-Corin first. But if we sail to Aku in Utaku, we should be able to pick up a suitable holy symbol to boost our sanctity even higher. Well, I'm going to take some time to ponder that, and I think I'll end the episode here. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I'm definitely going to be saving it here because I've made pretty damn good progress, and I will look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode. I'll say goodbye for now though, and cheerio everyone. See you all soon.